Okay, we're good. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. All right,
Okay.
perfect.
Groovy, groovy.
All right, fantastic. So it's 9:30. We've got a few people online, which is great. We're also going to be recording this, and we will post this on Facebook as well. And just quickly, the whole reason that we're doing this is because both of us actually, Chenzo and I, have had folks that we connect with that have reached out that obviously are very concerned right now. This is an unprecedented time in our lives, and from a business perspective, looking at ways that we can overcome fear and continue to be productive, continue to engage in business, continue to reach out to our customers. And so we were trying to figure out, hey, how can we share some information? How can we provide something of value that would help others? And this is our answer to it. So this is a very casual conversation. This is real talk. So lots of things happening right now. And you've probably heard the saying before that you're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. I make a habit of surrounding myself with just really good people that have the right type of mindset. And Chenzo is one of those guys. So I couldn't have thought of a better person to have on the call for something like this. So Chenzo, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself for those that may not know who you are?
Well, I appreciate it, Jay. And I mean, I could go on and on about what you mean to me and the script that you write about me in your intro, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, your family, and just in parallel with what you're saying. I have no qualms in letting anyone who's listening at this very moment or will be listening at a later point. I am absolutely freaking out. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to embrace it, but I'm also man enough to admit that I've got to do something about it. And I come from a background of not only embracing who you are and your thoughts, but also getting busy and helping out people, not only just financially, but with your time if you have it. So this is an opportunity. The irony is Jay, and I told you this, that you had happened to reach out to me within a 24-hour period, if not less, when my wife was saying like, Chenzo, you should still keep doing something. Because for those that don't know, I have kind of this like long format podcast, very similar to this, which Jay, by the way, this does not get you out of doing a podcast.
Soon enough.
At my house, and it's very intimate. It's very real. It's not scripted, and it's super just vulnerable on the behalf of not only the guests, but myself. So in a nutshell, my wife had been on me like, you got to do something. You got to get out there. And you get in touch with me, Jay, and you said, let's just talk. And I really sincerely, man, I've told a few people this already. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, A, for reaching out to me, but B, more importantly, allowing me to kind of put my flavor to it. And for those that don't know, Jay and I talked. He wanted to do this. My only request was the title of this show, if we want to call it a show, but this speaking engagement was, We're Scared Too. And once again, I want anyone who's listening to know that no matter what age, no matter what gender, no matter where the hell you are, it is absolutely unprecedented that what we're going through. And I'm freaking out. So I think through our chats, Jay, before this, pandemic and where we're at now, I'm hoping worst case scenario, I told you the other day, at least you and I get to talk and get to see who cares. And then once again, you and I help each other. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, I came across a quote that I read the other day, and I thought this would be a good way to start because it summarizes somewhat where my head is around this and around business in general and life in general. And this is right out of the Daily Stoic. So I do enjoy Stoic philosophy, but this one is from Marcus Aurelius. And here's the quote: "Today I escaped from the crush of circumstances, or better put, I threw them out. For the crush wasn't from outside me, but in my own assumptions." And what that means to me is in many areas of life, we are allowing outside circumstances to control our own thoughts, control our own behaviors, control our own habits. And when you allow that to happen, whether it's the news, whether it's social media, whatever it happens to be, it truly can keep you from moving forward in whatever it is you're attempting to do. So I refer back to that. I think about that often, to think about controlling the things that I can control. There's plenty of things that are outside of my control, but we all have a choice. We have a choice every day of how we're going to show up. We have a choice every day of how we're going to respond, how we're going to react, and what we're going to do. So even in this uncertainty and with this pandemic, we still have plenty of choices that we can make to move our businesses forward. I know there's a lot of fear, and I know that there's anxiety, but one thing I do know is that action overcomes all. So we can't let situations like this keep us from taking action. So the idea behind this morning is to talk about those actions, talk about specific things that business owners can do while working from home or wherever they happen to be. So Chenzo, give me an idea, if you will. And again, this is just an open dialogue, but give me an idea how this pandemic has been affecting you, and what are you doing right now specifically to continue to keep your business moving forward and to engage with your clients?
Well, so even though it's been going on for quite some time, to kind of give you a chronological, here's where I'm at. I would say, what was it, babe, like a week ago, where I worked till like 2, 3 in the morning. I'd say it was like within 7 days ago, I felt like I was, one of the largest metamorphosis stage for me was about 25-ish to 26-ish, where I really started to kind of implement the web to where I could live off of it, so to speak. And I felt like I was 25 again about 7 days ago, where I said, is it all right if I curse and be open here, or is it, you keep it?
Go right ahead. I don't think anyone will mind.
My apologies. Whatever. I mean, because it was a real moment, and I was like, fuck it, I need to do something bad. And I got busy, and that first night, and once again, it was about 6, 7 nights ago, I was up till about 2 or 3. And I used to be a late guy, but I kind of stopped that because I don't think it was conducive to, your livelihood as far as your health. So I stopped that. But as of those 7 days ago, stayed up till about 2 or 3, and I literally revamped my entire web portal. Now, those that know, whether you're a cleaning lady or you're a mechanic, your car's probably not working, your house isn't clean, right? It's usually how it goes, because we're doing it so much for other people. So in my case, I hadn't revamped my site in a long time. So I used that opportunity, not necessarily willingly, but to start working on myself and to start doing something productive as I started to see communications between clientele obviously diminish. Now, not to get weird with it, but my background is a tremendous amount of fearing a guy upstairs, and you can call him whatever you want, but in my opinion, it's just how I feel that it's when I'm at my highest or I'm at my lowest, I get on my face and I pray. And I started praying and praying in the last few days out of nowhere. Now, I have not shared this publicly, like literally with almost no friends, no family. But when I do things like this with my podcast or even in this, I think it's fair to people that took the time today to listen, and or at some point that I will let you know that out of nowhere, I feel like being just diligent, being at peace, and praying my ass off, and helping a lot of other people. I started immediately putting my job board out there more than I know I really do. So I run a job board that's at no cost, and I have for this community for a very long time. And I also, within a 48-hour period of this really hitting, where we had like mandatory lockdown, so to speak, if you want to call it that,
right,
I started running a no-cost digital package that I prayed about a lot, because I didn't want to piss off my current clientele and they go, what the hell are you doing? Like, I'm paying you a handsome fee to do this. But I was very specific about what I was offering, what it included, what it didn't include, but also allowing them to call me even if for Q&As at no cost. So I started doing this, and I started giving, which is kind of my background to begin with. It's just, if you got time to give and you got monetization to give it if you feel the peace and led to do it, not because someone's telling you to. So I started doing this, Jay. And all of a sudden, and once again, I'll be very sincere and share this here first, out of nowhere, I have been inundated with people calling me, asking me to set up my podcast exactly how I have it. So I have already put together a package, and I'm already in a handful of them where I'm actually being, I can't believe it. I'm still in awe about it because I feel like it's, lack of better words, a miracle that though my digital services are still there, my workmanship is still available, but where people are getting in touch with me out of nowhere is, Chenzo, I want that exact podcast layout. What can you do for me? So I went to my think tank, put it together. Jay, you'd be very proud. I haven't even shared this with you yet. I didn't even think I was going to share it today, but it's just happening. So I put together this package, which is the hardest thing to do, as you know, as well as I do, from a workmanship standpoint. Like, what do you do here? How do you monetize it? How do you put it together? Prayed about it, put it together, and whammo, man, I'm on a handful of people that are allowing me to service them to that capacity. Now, the only hiccup is when the hell I'm going to actually set it up. I'm kind of praying about, some people are like, come over today. And I'm like, let's kind of give it a minute. But it's amazing. So to answer your question in a nutshell, man, not being as busy here as I'm busy, I'm trying to be just as busy at my hands as I am my thoughts.
Okay.
Because this, I don't try to shut up anymore. I used to try to shut this up. And I'm not a believer anymore of keeping your mind idle. I'm a believer in allowing your thoughts to flow through you. So if I'm hungry, I'm hungry. If I'm horny, I'm horny. If I'm mad, I'm mad. I don't let it chill here, though. I let it go through me. And then on to the next. So what I've noticed is that through those sleepless nights or through those moments of dismay, let it think about it, be about it, and then do something and stay busy. But the silver lining for me, and has been my breakthrough, is helping somebody else. Whether it's a phone call, whether it's giving them a keys to a car that you may have laying around and they need one, do it. For some freak reason, and it's been written in scrolls way before my time, there seems to be a miracle for you on the other end. Is this making sense?
Yeah, it does. Here's the thing. For people that are hearing this for the first time that may not know you or have been around you, this is real stuff for you. And I've been around you enough. This is no BS. And it's one of the things that I love about you, not only the fact that you're a giving heart and that you give of yourself, but that you're out in the community. You are always looking at ways of connecting with others, but from this perspective of how do I help others? How do I help others become better? How do I help them overcome challenges, fears, whatever that happens to look like? So I think that's awesome what you're doing. Just one question that ties back to that. If anyone wanted to receive that, is that something that's a deliverable that you're sending via email, and then you schedule something with you to set this up? Do you know how that's going to be delivered yet, or are you still
so
working?
What I'm doing right now, I'm on my handful of times of doing it. I've got it to a working system where, and those that really know me know that I could be already probably driving a Ferrari if I were to monetize every little avenue of affiliate programs, which I don't. So to answer your question on how I'm delivering these services, they're obviously broken down into two. There's the hardware, and then there's the actual knowledge and base and how to use it. So the hardware stuff, I'm having the individuals, I send over the exact package that I have. So it's broken down specifically. Now, I'm the first one to also tell these people, because I've been absolutely honored and flattered that they're reaching out, that my setup, Jay, is like the most elementary setup, but it's working. It's because I feel like my heart was right in it. So this is not the Joe Rogan effect. We're talking very basic equipment. The people that have come over sometimes don't even notice that they're on because I don't have this big old studio. So the acquisition of getting it into place hardware wise is very inexpensive. So what I do is I send that to you, you purchase it on your time.
Okay.
Then once it's delivered, now I'm in the process now to setting up when everything gets shipped in. We're still waiting for this. This has all been within probably net 48 hours. That's how fast we're like talking about it. It's happening. So once everything comes in, then we're going to set up an actual physical time and date that I come in. The problem is that I letting people know, not necessarily a problem, but it's going to take about 4 to maybe 8 hours, not only with setup, but because what I'm going to do is include training, because I have a system and it really works. So it's a very less work, more play kind of system. And once I teach them and I feel comfortable with it, they got it, then I'm out. So does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Perfect. So if anyone is interested in this, obviously they can reach out to you. We'll go ahead and share some information on this as far as your how to reach you, how to contact you. As a matter of fact, if you're looking at Chenzo's screen right now, you'll see Chenzo Web Guy. That's a great place to start. That's a great place to start. So let's do this. Let's share a few things that anyone, no matter what your business is or service product, that you can do right now that you can implement into your daily life. So where this needs to go are specific tactics, right? Things that anyone can apply. So the very first thing that I would say, and this is something that I share with really any of my clients, is preparation determines outcome, right? So planning your day is critically important. So when you're working from home, whether you have a home-based business or you're forced to work from home right now, you need to make sure that you are starting the day with a very specific plan. So what are your goals? What are your objectives for the day? I highly encourage everyone to use time blocking. It is an excellent time management tool. There are some pros and cons to it, but basically what you're doing when you time block is you're setting aside blocks of time for all of the tasks that you need to accomplish during that day and other responsibilities. I would also, when you time block, I would put time in there for me time, for you time, right? Time for you to take a break, to go outside, to breathe, whatever that happens to look like for you, but make sure that that's blocked in as well. And you're doing this on your calendar. Google Calendar is a great tool for time blocking, but follow your plan. That's critically important right now. Also, make sure that you are eliminating distractions as best as you possibly can. So one of the things that I would suggest is to limit the amount of news that you're watching right now. And also, interestingly enough, limit the amount of social media. When you are on social media, make sure that you are using it effectively and you're using it for, especially during the day, that you're using it for purposes to drive your business forward. Also, your cell phone. So, we have become so accustomed to these. Make sure that you turn off notifications during the day, right? There are times that you can check in, maybe every hour for a couple of minutes, but make sure those notifications are turned off, because the moment you hear that ding, obviously what that's doing, it's giving you a dopamine hit, and you immediately want to go check that out. And to get back into what you were working on can take 5 to 10 minutes to get back into that zone. So make sure that you are eliminating any of those distractions. And also at the end of the day, make sure that you are doing an assessment. Review what you did that day. What kind of progress did you make? Assess what went well, what didn't go well, and what you can improve upon. So another action that you can take, and we'll go through kind of a list of some things here, but be proactive in making prospect calls. So this is an excellent time to pick up the phone and try to engage with some new potential clients for you. And one of the things that you can do to kind of gamify this a little bit is take 2 small jars, and in one jar put, let's say, 30 to 50 paper clips in that jar. And for every call that you make, take a paper clip out of one jar and put it in the other jar, right? That way, at the end of the day, you can see how many calls you made and track that activity. We'll talk about a CRM system here in a moment. So, Chenzo, kind of kicking it back to you for a moment. What are your thoughts on those? What are your thoughts on preparation and making sure that you're staying organized right now?
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on that, and that's preparation, prep, and this is, listen, anyone that's listening to this at this very moment that has a service or has a business, most likely I would imagine we're all either working for someone or we have something that we're doing for ourselves. I would think with this call, and those that are going to end up listening to this are probably either reinventing themselves or have some kind of current service. I know most that are here today have something. So check this out. And I could be wrong, but it's working for me. This is what I would do as of yesterday. Give something away. Give something away that you have that's an incentive to your program. I don't know what it is. I don't know every single buddy's, Tom, Dick, and Harry's, whether it's a product or it's time, but give something away. And if you notice the conglomerates are doing something, right? Now, for instance, you look at whether it's Sprint, you look at Zoom, you look at all these conglomerates, right? They're giving some kind of little bit of blessing with their current service. Because right now, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. So absolutely, I'm opening up the door to a tremendous amount of, maybe I'm wrong, 100%, but it's working for me. So if it helps somebody else, and it makes me feel good, but check it. You got people out there, these conglomerates that are offering, once again, whether it's a 40-minute call that goes to 50. I'm not saying give away the house either, people. I'm just saying try to realize that right now, from a marketing perspective, anything you're trying to sell is not going to be heard, in my opinion. It's a very tragic, very sad, very unfortunate time for a lot of people. I'm hoping that more than most have saved for these types of days, but I don't think a lot have. So there's going to be a lot of people that have zero capital and very little liquidity. And I think that that's fair to say. So with that being said, my mindset is, what can I give away time-wise that doesn't hurt my bottom dollar, that also keeps my name and my face in front of people, but with the motive of being pure. Your motive's got to be pure. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to sound philosophical here and miss like Gandhi, but and no joke, if you're just trying to put together a package that's just for marketing, I can almost guarantee you're not going to see the residual in the back, the kickback. But if come up with something through your own time, through your own prayer, through your own quiet place, and put something together that cannot be no ifs, ands, or buts, that's a little package that you can afford to give. Once again, either monetarily and or physical, or maybe both. And then once you have that, I would sincerely beg of you to also give your ear and your phone call open to those that just want to talk. Jay knows this as well as I do. The reason I started the podcast 2 years ago is people want to be listened to. People want to be heard. Give them an opportunity to talk to you. Give them an opportunity to hear more about your services. So in piggybacking of what you're talking about, Jay, I think it's absolutely imperative that, once again, it's working for me, so I hope it could work for you guys. Put it into your daily routine, that you put something together as of yesterday that you can offer to this immediate community as well. That's another thing. I would strongly suggest you could focus on your area code. Don't focus on Texas. If you're in Texas, then focus on Texas. But focus where your backyard is and the 6 inches in front of your face. And I bet you'll start to see residual. Now, maybe not now, and maybe not next year. The crazy thing is, Jay, from a spiritual standpoint, half the people that are getting in touch with me now are people I was on a guest almost like the first time. These weren't people that I just ran into yesterday, or the people I had called yesterday. These are people that I hadn't even had dialogue with, that something must have happened when I planted that seed that long time ago. So my point is, if your motive is right, which it was when I had these people on the show that long ago, they're now coming back as means of actual income for me. Thank God. But that would be something, and I hope this is making sense, because I can be very passionate and obviously very flamboyant, man. I get going on this stuff because it's working and it's real. But I think most importantly, and I'll close on this regarding this topic, is like you said during your prep and your daily routine, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be happy when your eyes are closed. I learned that. And you're only as good as your last 24. So if you're miserable and your yard and your metaphorically, your farm ain't yielding crop, don't even do anything, in my opinion. Don't even do nothing. Take care of yourself first, physically, financially, spiritually. And then once those are set, maybe even your relationship. Now is a great time maybe for those that are in companionships, those that have situations going on. Take some time now to mend those and work on what matters most, and that's you and your spiritual being. Because then once those are aligned, which once again come out of line real quick. Jay, you know this as well as I do. I like to ask people sometimes, how's your last hour been?
Sure.
Because shit gets real fast. You get that one phone call about your family member. You get that one phone call about that one client. You woke up great, but that last hour sucked. Your bottom dollar is going to suck this next quarter. It's okay, but next, what are we going to do about it? So once again, in parallel with what you said, I would focus on what it is that you have as a business and what can you afford to give. And as ludicrous as that may sound, do it, because it's working. And don't take my word for it. Once again, look at all these conglomerates. I guarantee you, everyone on this call and whoever is going to listen to this has gotten an email from every mortgage company, every billing company, everything that you have a subscription to has probably emailed you with the header, whatever the stupid acronym is, COVID, whatever. Guarantee you. And none of you probably even read it, but the incentives are some kind of free and or aid to help you continue to be a client of theirs. Make sense?
It makes perfect sense, and thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. So let me go back to some very specific tactics as well. But I totally agree with you on sharing content, just sharing of yourself. Another is when it comes to a CRM. If in your business, if you don't have a CRM system today, while you're at home, this is a perfect time to look into different CRM systems that are available. HubSpot offers a free version. There's Pipedrive. There's a number of them out there. But this is a great time to set that up and put those systems in place that are going to help you stay connected with others, track your performance, and be able to use those for email purposes as well. Also, so we talked about making prospecting calls, creating email campaigns. I mean, this is a great time to take your knowledge and share that with others. So put some helpful tips together, put some content together that would resonate with others, something that shares what it is that you do, but more importantly, how you can help others with your product or service, or just being a helpful ear. Obviously, there's lots of different email platforms and marketing software that you can use. MailChimp, Constant Contact, there's a number of them out there. Some of them are free, so take advantage of that. Creating some how-to videos. I know I have several different service clients that can put videos together that show how to repair certain things, or how to get more out of this particular product, or if you're a photographer, as an example, how to take better pictures, whatever that happens to look like. Try to create something of value so you're providing service and value to others, and then figure out a way to get that to them using email, using social media, and the like. Chinzo mentioned this earlier, just doing check-in calls, just calling your clients and people that you know. This is a very difficult time for people. Some people are going to handle this better than others. Check in, just find out how they're doing. Let them know that you care about them. Have a conversation and let them know that you're here for them. I think that's critically important right now. If you are a service business, if you've got a product, make sure that you're looking at ways to offer no contact service and or delivery. You're probably seeing right now more videos from companies where they're letting you know how they are protecting themselves and protecting you. So if you have an HVAC service, as an example, that you're making sure that you're wearing gloves, you're wearing masks, booties, that you're not sending anyone out to a residence that has come in contact with anyone that's been sick, or that they're sick themselves. So things that we often take for granted, that we think are common sense, that unfortunately are not always common practice. Creating a podcast. So Chinzo gave you an excellent platform and is willing to share some information on the right type of equipment, how to set up a podcast, things like that. You know, for each of you that own businesses, you're the experts in your field. What a great way to share information with others. And this is a great time to do it. Send handwritten thank you notes out to every one of your clients. Even if that client hasn't done business with you in quite some time, send them a note and make sure that it's a handwritten note. You can put a business card in there if you like. You can put a gift card in there if you like, but just let them know how much you appreciate them, how much you appreciate them supporting you, and think long term. Right? Think about your actions today, but think about the impact that these are going to have on your relationships long term. And also make sure that you're taking periodic you time breaks. I had mentioned that earlier, but self-care is critically important. You know the analogy when you go on an airplane and they go through the airplane specifics before you take off. They talk about that face mask coming down, or that oxygen mask coming down. That oxygen mask goes on you first before it goes on the person sitting next to you. There's a reason for that. Unless you're healthy, right, you can't help anyone else. So make sure that you are taking time for yourself. Every hour, I would highly suggest, if you're working from home, that you set an alarm. You figure out a way that you step away from your desk for 5 minutes to 10 minutes, take a step outside, breathe, decompress, Practice box breathing. If you're not familiar with that, look it up, check it out on Google. It's a great way to relax and stretch, exercise, get some fresh air. Those things are critically important. And then you're more refreshed, get back to work and get things done. So one other thing I wanted to mention. Using Zoom is a great way to connect with mentors, a great way to connect with coaches. It's a great way to just reach out for help. You're not alone in this. There are plenty of resources. There are plenty of people that are out there that you can have a conversation with, that you can collaborate with. Heck, I reach out to Chenzo often. We talk about things. There's others that are in my network that I speak to often. The moment you think you know everything, you block yourself out to learning new things. Don't do that. This is a great time to learn more. So we are at the 10 o'clock hour. We wanted to keep this relatively short to 30 minutes. Our plan is to provide more conferences like this where we can share more information. We certainly hope that you got value from this. If you want to connect with either of us, we'll make sure that we put our contact information in the notes on this call. We will post this on Facebook. And most importantly, take action. That's the most important thing that you can do. Figure out a way that you can help others. This is one of the ways that we're trying to help by just putting some information out there, keeping the conversations very positive. I know that this is a scary time, but you decide how you're going to process what's going on around you. And we wish you the best of health. Stay optimistic, stay close to your people, and reach out to us if we can help you. Chenzo, any last words from you, my friend?
No, man, you said a lot, and there's obviously plenty more that we could say, but as Jay said, we're trying to keep it condensed. We know we got a lot of things going on, and life is hitting us really fast right now, but just to kind of reiterate, I want to thank all those that took time today to be in it, those that listen to this at a later point to take the time to listen to it. If you don't know who I am and or Jay, I really want you guys to know this. Anytime, any day, especially right now, feel free to absolutely reach out to me. I speak for Jay too. Call us, text us, email us, and I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to be your friend. I'm here to anything that I can do to remind you that you are a badass and you've made it this far and you're going to continue to make it. And I only tell you that because I need to hear it myself. So I'm just preaching and I'm practicing the same thing, and I'm just as scared and I'm just as vulnerable as you guys are. So the point is, I really sincerely wanted to stress this again. Somehow, some way, once you've taken care of your own house and your own farm, help somebody today. I promise you, you're going to have a breakthrough. I don't know how, I don't know why it works, but it does. And help someone today. Maybe call that one person. I don't care if it's a client or a friend, but just give your time and love someone today. And you watch through there, all of a sudden that this shitty situation that we're all going through makes it just that wee bit sweeter. So I hope this was helpful. I sincerely appreciate all you guys, and what a time to be alive. So I think that's about it. Jay, did we do it?
Perfect. Thank you. We did it. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. You've got this, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.